Welcome to VARINDIA News Hour. Why tech companies have been trying to get rid of passwords for years. Passwords have long been the first line of defense when it comes to online security. National Password Day comes along once every year, and tech firms are celebrating this year by unveiling plans to get rid of the borderline medieval security measure altogether. As the technology is slowly becoming less and less proficient at actually protecting its users. Attempts have been made to bolster their security in a world that can hack most passwords in only a few seconds. Security-related issues have existed since the birth of online accounts. Hacking and phishing are the two common practices that even the most alert of us could potentially fall victim to. And that's expected on the internet because most websites have no way to tell whether it's actually you or someone else trying to log in. As long as the email or username and the password match, you are in. The two-factor authentication is another solid security layer that makes it harder for others to barge into your accounts. However, it's not foolproof either. Fortunately, for all of us, passwords might soon become a thing of the past. Tech companies have been trying to get rid of the passwords for years. Users often have too many passwords to keep track of, and alone they aren't very secure. Microsoft, Apple, and Google announced plans to support a common passwordless sign-in standard known as passkeys developed by the World Wide Web Consortium, that is W3C, and the FIDO Alliance in its effort to build a set of passwordless login protocols. Marking World Password Day, Apple has joined the cause too. All three tech giants have pledged to make login simpler across all their devices and operating systems over the next year. Once implemented, these new web authentication, that is WebAuthn credentials, aka FIDO credentials, will allow the three tech giants users to log into their accounts without using a password. Instead of using passwords, they will have the option to opt for verifying their identity using PINs or biometric authentication, that is fingerprint or face. The new plan will let users with Microsoft, Android, or Apple devices use FIDO passkeys to log into websites and apps across operating systems and browsers without passwords. For example, a user will be able to log into a site on Google Chrome running on Windows by simply unlocking their iPhone. Users will also be able to effortlessly transfer their FIDO credentials for all their logins to new devices. This movement promises logins that are not only easier but also more secure than passwords. The FIDO Alliance says its passkeys using public key cryptography are almost impossible to phish and remain solely on users' devices. Maybe then we will stop seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as the most common password year after year. Going forward, to sign into a website on your computer, you will just need your phone nearby and you will simply be prompted to unlock it for access. Even if you lose your phone, your passkey will securely sync to your new phone from cloud backup, allowing you to pick up right where your old device left out. Let's look into today's headlines in VARINDIA. US sanctions North Korea's Blender.io. The US is sanctioning North Korean digital currency mixing firm Blender.io, which the country allegedly uses for stealing virtual currency and supporting cybercrimes. Blender is accused of helping Lazarus Group, a sanctioned North Korean cyber hacking group, to carry out a $620 million digital currency heist in March. The sanctions are imposed by the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control. Treasury says Blender helped processes over $20.5 million in digital currency. Chinese military aircrafts enter Taiwan's defense zone. Taiwan's Air Force warns about 18 Chinese aircrafts that entered into air defense zone. Taiwan has complained of repeated such missions by Chinese aircraft, which have become a common occurrence over the past 2 years or so. Taiwan's defense ministry said the latest mission included 6 Chinese J-11 and 6 J-16 fighters as well as 2 X-6 bombers. The bombers, accompanied by a Y-8 anti-submarine aircraft, flew to the south of Taiwan through the Bashi Channel, which separates the island from the Philippines. RailTel wins order for expanding SDC and DR centers in Madhya Pradesh. RailTel Corporation of India Limited, the central public sector unit under the Ministry of Railways, has bagged an order worth Rs 97.64 crores from the Madhya Pradesh State Electronics Development Corporation Limited for expansion of the state data center and establishment of a disaster recovery center. The project includes designing, upgrading, commissioning and managing a state data center in Madhya Pradesh, along with setting up a disaster recovery center for a period of 5 years. Airtel broadband experiences major outage across the country. Airtel broadband services suffered a major outage as users were unable to access the internet on both mobile and desktops. The outage affected millions of users across the country. Airtel broadband went down for users in Delhi NCR, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Jaipur and other cities. While 39% of Airtel broadband users had no signal, 32% had issues with mobile internet and 29% faced total blackout. The company was yet to issue a statement on the outage. India's Forex Reserves drops lowest in a year. India's foreign exchange reserves fell below $600 billion for the first time in a year. The latest data from the Reserve Bank of India showed the country's FX reserves fell by $2.695 billion to $597.728 billion, marking the 8th straight week of declines. The data was also the lowest since end April last year due to the coronavirus pandemic. This year, the fallout from the Russia-Ukraine war has weighed on global supply chains, leading to inflation. That's all for now. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to VARINDIA News Magazine. You can download the VARINDIA app from Google Play Store and Apple App Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.